Good morning, students. How are you? I hope you are well and keeping good health by the grace of God. And how was your holidays? I know that you did not enjoy as before, but I am sure you might have made use of the time in a better way. Did you read the newspaper? I hope so. Or did any craft work or something making use of waste materials? I'm sure you might have done so many things like that. Reading the newspaper, in fact, is a very useful thing. I mainly if you read newspaper, English newspaper, or watch something English, that will make you improve your English language. Why I am stressing to read the English newspaper or newspaper. Now as our first lesson in history, what, where, how and when. In that, before the lesson starts, as an introductory part, we have, if you have the textbook in front of you, or when you get the textbook, you will know that there is a paragraph like a girl reading the newspaper, and while she is reading the newspaper, her attention fell on one small heading like 100 years ago, and she thought, could anyone remember what happens is long years ago, like 100 years, a very long time, and could anyone remember that? And from where we will get that information? So, if we want to find out like that something what happened long back, we have to depend on someone. If yesterday something happened, we want to know what happened yesterday, we will watch TV or take today's newspaper or watch radio. We will get to know what happened yesterday, we will get that knowledge. But what happened last year, you might have forgotten, but we can ask somebody what happened last year. Those who remember will tell us what happened last year. But long years, like 100 years, who would tell us? For that, we have to depend on history. So what happened long ago, like 100 years, or where it happened, how it happened, when it happened, we have to depend on history. So what is history? History is a chronological account of events that took place in the past. I repeat, history. What is a history? History is a chronological account of events that took place in the past. So from history, what all things we can find out? Find out what happened, or find out what can we know about the past. There are several things that we should find out. What people ate those days, like 100 years or several years back, what type of food they ate, what type of clothes they wore, or what type of house they lived in. All these things we can understand from the history if we go through the history. We can also find out about the people, what type of people they lived, what type of people were living those days. People like merchants, farmers, gatherers, artists, musicians, scientists, all those people lived those days, and we can find out from the history what they did and how they lived. And also we can find out from the children of those days, what they read, what type of story they read, what type of games they played, or what type of song they sang. All those things we can find out from the history. And where did these people live those days? Where did these people of past time, where they live? People have lived along the banks of river like in Narmada. In your textbook page number 2, if you have textbook in front of you, just turn and see there is an outline map of India. In that we can find out where is Narmada Nadi, Narmada river Narmada. It is in the central part of India. It is in the central part of India. You can find out river Narmada. Banks of river Narmada. Several thousands of years ago, people lived there. And the earliest people who lived there were skilled gatherers. Skilled means very capable. Capable gatherers lived there. Gatherers means people who move from place to place in order to search for their food. So these gatherers were living there, and herders, farmers, all those people were living there, and these people were fully aware of the vast wealth of the forest. So vast wealth of the forest, they were aware of it, and so they went from place to place, moving from place to place in the forest, and used to gather food products like roots of the plant, fruit from the plant, and also medicinal plants they knew, and they used to make use of it for their livelihood. And they also used to hunt animals. Hunters were living in those days. Who are hunters? Hunters, people who go to forest in order to hunt animals, and those animals they use for meat, or their skin they use for different purposes. So hunters also were living there, and they used to hunt animals for their livelihood. And again, now we can find out from the map itself, Sulaiman and Kirta hills, two hills we can find out from the map, that is northwest of India. Northwest of India we can find out two hills, that is Sulaiman and Kirtar hills along that is in the northwest of India. There lived people, those who were farmers. Some of the men and women together they grow crops like wheat, barley, etc. And they also hunted animals, and also they were rearing animals for their use. People also began to rear animals like sheep, goat, etc. And there is another hills in the northeast of India, that is Yarrow Hills. And this area where some of the areas where agriculture developed. First agriculture was developed along the Yarrow Hills. Then first rice was also grown in this place. Rice was first grown in these areas. So once again I repeat what I have taken. If you want to listen, if you want to know what happened yesterday, we can know from the newspaper. What happened last year, we can ask somebody. What happened long ago, we can find out, or we can know from the history. And what is history, and what type of people they lived, and how they lived, and where they lived. You have already learned all those things. And where agriculture was first developed, and where this Sulaiman and Kirtar hills located, and Yarrow hills located. And before I conclude, when I take lesson again, when school opens and when you come back, I will take the map work and I will make you mark all these places on the outline map. And you have to read the textbook and learn, take down the points, and I will give you the notes later on. Thank you.